S&box, the game engine and game publishing platform created by Facepunch, known for games such as Rust and Garry's Mod. It officially launched on 28 April 2026. The S&box game engine is built on Source 2 and the latest C#. The goal is to create games quicker and easier and then publish these games via the S&box Steam game publishing platform where thousands of S&box gamers can find and play your games. Think Roblox and Fortnite Creative. In addition, S&box game developers can earn from a play fund where players can play their game. And this is Unreal Engine for Fortnite, a developer toolkit created by Epic Games in order for creators to publish their games directly into Fortnite, where thousands of Fortnite players can find and play your games. My goal is to create 3 games in 2 different game engines as a part-time creator with only part-time availability. I'll be learning S&box game engine as a beginner, while game engine 2 UEFN I have 2 years experience. I'll be working on all 3 games with the goal of having 3 publishable games in 30 days. Hi there everybody, thank you for watching this devlog. My creative name is Belastrah, a multi-talented person. I currently work as a full-time freelancer in various disciplines such as writing, branding, graphic design, and so on. But my big dream has always been to eventually become a full-time multi-talented creator of games, books, films, and TV series. And so 2 years ago, as I reached the point of burnout, working on my client projects almost 7 days a week, 10 to 16 hours a day, especially during those COVID days when we were just locked up in our apartments and at home. And I reached that point when I had to say, I have to do something different. And although I love writing and working on client projects because it's still kind of in the creative industry, I felt that life was going past so fast. You know, I was always already in my late 30s, and that uncomfortable nagging feeling was tugging all the times here in the back of my mind saying, hey, remember that dream you had as a little girl, you know, that one where you were a full-time creative living on a beautiful farm somewhere in Africa, sipping your coffee in the early morning when you are looking over the fields and creating and writing your magical stories for your books and your games. All these stories you had in your mind, I want to give creative outlet to, but I just, for almost 20 to 24 years, I just keep the stories within me and there's nowhere to put them out because I'm always working on client projects or doing other stuff in order to pay the bills and, you know, provide for myself and everyone. I reached that point, that point of no return. So that day, about 2 years ago, I made a decision to learn game development. After struggling quite a long time with Unreal Engine, you know, I was always in and out learning it. I just felt like it was too enormous and there was so much to learn. And then eventually I heard about Unreal Engine for Fortnite, and the moment I started creating games in it, I loved it because it's just a little easier approach when you're a complete beginner like me that time, and I found it much easier to use. So it's then also 2 years ago where I did this crazy thing, and I know many people are going to say, why did you do that? Oh my gosh, that I used my retirement fund, which I had been saving towards for almost 8 years, in order to learn UEFN almost full time. So I thought, you know, if I have to split my attention between clients and learning game development, I'm never going to get to that point where I can become full time. So I thought, well, I have money that I saved up. Let me just use it towards something that I've always dreamed about. And so for the past 2 years, I've spent thousands of hours learning Unreal Engine for Fortnite, and I published almost 20 games so far in Fortnite. My big dream was to create and publish epic fantasy and cozy experiences within the Fortnite ecosystem, and then these games would earn a return via the Fortnite creator economy so that I could eventually fund my monthly expenses completely from Fortnite UEFN game development. Unfortunately, as so many of you whose big dreams have been shattered as a Fortnite creator, especially as a solo small creator who don't have the marketing budget or the funding or the stuff to pay towards ads, you know, and also I made a lot of mistakes along the way, like I'm not so good with social media, so yeah, stuff went wrong. And by early this year, my funds ran out completely. And so I had no choice but to go back to a full-time job And yeah, I'm still very sad about it, and I would love to have continued in game development and so on for UEFN, but the reality is that it was not sustainable, and as small creators, we are just not making enough money to support our full-time game development. So yeah, but I don't want to give up on my dream of becoming a full-time creator. I'm always at this point, especially on weekends, where I'm saying, okay, well, I worked this whole week. Let's just do something creative again. So now I work on game development before work and in the evenings, and I try to learn as much as I can. And yeah, I don't have a budget. I don't have any extra funds or anything for these games. I don't know how to market these games, and I'm not very good with social media, but I'm trying my best to now, fix the mistakes I made in the past 2 years doing UFN Fortnite. I never put out the work I did. I made 20 games, and I record all the footage, but I never put out devlogs or anything because I always find it so lengthy to make videos. It's a lot of time. And I'm still learning how to make videos as well, because as a solo creator, as all of you know, you wear so many hats, you have to do so many things, you have to learn so many industries. And although it's fun, it is also time consuming. And if you don't have funding for that, you have to prioritize stuff. So yeah. So this challenge of creating 3 games in 2 different game engines within 30 days was born out of my desire to expand my abilities as a game creator. And I also learned that there's a lot of features and benefits in S&box, so that's a completely new game engine that I wanted to learn. For example, I noted via the website that eventually you would be able to export your game as a standalone and publish it on Steam, so that is one of the very attractive factors for me. For the past week or so that I have been learning it, there is so much possibilities with this engine compared to UEFN. Now, both of them have pros and cons, but I am excited to learn a new game engine and also to publish games into another platform where there is existing players, because that is helpful as a solo creator with no budget if you have the option to publish into a game system or ecosystem that already has players. All right, so yeah, this is my adventure into creating 3 games with 2 different game engines in 30 days, and I invite you on this journey with me. As of now, the games are available on my website at belastrah.com. The link is in the description below for wish listings. The first game under development is called My Cozy Creatures Hotel and Farm, and it will be developed with UEFN. The second game is Match and Collect, an S&box game. And the third game is a UEFN game called Neon Ruins. So thank you very much for staying tuned to this devlog. All the games are available on my website. And if you haven't done so, please subscribe to the channel for regular updates. So thank you very much. I'm Belastrah, and I wish you the best. Stay tuned. We'll talk again. Bye for now.